All right, welcome back, everybody. I think we ended off with the final seven, and this will be the last, not confessional, cast assessment to round about the whole game. Basically, we're at the final two, and funny enough, I just posted the final tribal council like 10, 15 minutes ago, and I've already got 3 of 8 votes, and they're all just to Ethan straight away. So, I'm not gonna be surprised if this goes 8-0. To be honest, an absolute destruction. And I think that means Ethan played a perfect game. I'm pretty sure, right? Because I'm not sure if he got any votes, but I'm pretty certain it's pretty close. And I have a good feeling he's gonna go 8-0. So we'll see about that. But let's go with all the people that have been voted out. We'll talk about returnees, the whole season as a whole. To be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna make this under 15 minutes or not. We'll see what happens. But let's go through it. So we had a final seven. Final seven kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, just because of that one self vote, kind of ruined a large portion of a specific person's game, which was Ryan. I feel like I know Zach. I mean not Zach. I know Scott talked about how he was fucked over by an advantage, but like there are advantages in this game, and Ryan just used it right. So yes, you did get fucked over, but it is a part of the game. But with something like Zach's self-voting, it's kind of something that's not a part of the game. Like, that's not supposed to happen in real life. So Ryan going home, he would have survived. He would have survived 4-3-1, but he went home, got super unlucky, and he went home with 2 advantages. You could call it also a very stupid move. Honestly, if you go through 3 in a row, this season as a whole just pissed me off. Not pissed me off, but it was very irritating to watch because you had Fire Dragon with 2 advantages, then you had Scott with an idol, and then you had Ryan with 2 advantages. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? They all get voted out without using either of them, so it was pretty stupid. But at least with Ryan, at least he has a reason why he didn't use it. He just got super unlucky with Zach, and there was a revote, and honestly, at this point, I was like, if Zach's not gonna revote, I'm just gonna medevac him. I don't give a fuck. Like, I know, like, it's not really twisting the rules because he didn't vote 3 times now. If you count the revote, sometimes a lot of hosts don't really count the revote as like a self vote. But in this case, I was like, why not? Like, it's clear that he's not really interested in the game. So I'm not gonna really bother with him, you know. So he went home, and then Ryan went home in the 4-1 vote. So basically, talking about that vote, Saj had 2 votes already, and he pulled in Travis. So he really only needed to pull in one person to make this vote happen for 3-3-1 at final 7. So he could have done that. It was easy for him, and then since Zach wasn't there, they couldn't even like think of doing a rock draw or whatever because there was only 5 votes on the revote. So Zach went home, Ryan then went home, poor Ryan, and then it was the Tory vote. Tory just went home. It was a very simple vote, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised how simple it was, and I don't know why they did it because Tory was kind of like, you know, like she would lose 100% in the final tribal council to anybody, right? Like, no one really liked her, and no one really, like, she was kind of a whack job. Like, she was kind of crazy and like just says random shit for no reason. So I don't know why they just voted her out. I guess because no one talked to her. But she went home. It wasn't really much to talk about, but it was pretty interesting to see that every single, like, there was 4 Sava people going out, like, succeedingly, like, consecutively, and we had a final 3 of all Patar, which was pretty interesting. But that's a separate point. For moving on, we had the final 4 finale. Curly went home. Curly was kind of if there was any fans, no, this season there wasn't really a VL, but Curly went home, and she was probably fan favorite. She just didn't win the immunity, and she was easily the biggest target. But Ethan is also the biggest target, it's pretty funny that no one ever targeted him. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get the JT like perfect game. But it's kind of surprising that no one went after him because I think I said like at final 10 or something like or final 13 maybe I forget. But like I said like he's gonna win this game. Like he's my winner's pick, and it's pretty clear that he's gonna just like run through this game and eat. Like he kind of destroyed it. It wasn't really his season. Like it's not like a Boston Rob kind of season where he just controlled everyone, but he did play a very good game. Kind of reminds me, I know this is going to be a bad comparison, but he does remind me of Tommy Sheehan from like season 39. Like he did control the game, but he was kind of just super social and kind of in the middle. But I don't know, that's kind of like a bad representation of him. He didn't really control the game, but he kind of did. Like he's kind of like Tony, you know, but he just doesn't have the eccentric character. But enough of me rambling on. Curly went home, and then it was the Sag vote, which it was pretty obvious that Ethan was going to do that. He didn't really have any, like, he wasn't really pondering much about the vote. He just did it, to be honest. Like, he knew that Travis wasn't really playing this game much. Didn't really know what the fuck was going on. He was confused that there was a fucking final two. I was like, okay, like, oh, whatever. And, yeah, it was pretty simple. At least Sag, although Sag didn't really do much, like in the mid game, at the end of the game, he kind of picked it up right after Scott left. He started picking the game up, and he did play well until he went home. So good for him. Now we got our final two. Travis just didn't really do much, man. I don't know. He just wasn't super active, and I don't. Like, compared to Ethan, like, there's no way he's going to win. Like, there's zero chance. Like, Ethan played a beautiful game. He played a very good game, very social. And he did win I think he won 3 or something, but he won quite a few immunity challenges. Very strategic as well. So, yeah, I don't think Travis is going to win. Might just get 8-0, but yeah. Ethan really just played, you know, this might bump up the season ranking for this season by a good bit because of the winner. Because we have a satisfying winner who was fun, he was likable, and he was super deserving. I think he was the most deserving out of anybody, to be honest. And yeah. But how much time do I have? All right, 8 minutes. Yeah, I'm just going to talk through every single person that probably will return, and people that might not return. Sorry. Not sorry, it's just how you played. That's kind of on you guys. But I was also thinking, like, am I too rude in these cast assessments? Because I don't want to be seen as, like, a disrespectful host. But like with a huge opinion, but I feel like this is kind of fun to do. Gives people some insight on their personal game. Hopefully they can fix it, and hopefully like it just I don't know, it gives them, you know, people like being talked about. So I feel like that was a big reason why I wanted to do this, so people were intrigued. But let's go through everybody. So we got I think we got at least half the cast that are potential returnees. Johnny's not a returnee. Darren's never going to be a returnee. They're not going to be a part of it. Raheem has a very good chance. I don't know why there's this run-in joke with Raheem that he's going to come back, and he was so robbed. It's pretty funny because he was a pretty good player. So I did enjoy his time on the show for a bit. Sadly, he got voted out in a blind side, but he was fun to have, and hopefully you'll see him soon. If this series goes long enough where we start doing returnee seasons and all that, and specific returnee seasons of second chances, then you'll see him sometime in the future, I hope. Philip, I've talked about him before, 3-time player out of 7 seasons. You're gonna see him soon. Yeah. You'll see him soon for sure. He's super active. He really embodies the show. And Merrick, never coming back. Josh will probably come back. He did get idled out. The only idle out of this season. his confessionals weren't too eccentric, I guess. Like there wasn't much personality to it, but at least he was super active. He didn't send a lot of confessionals, and he did play in this game. He had some sort of strategy, and he was pretty social enough. So I'd like to see him back as well. He'd probably do second chances, or he would just sneak into an All Stars if my cast is kind of shit. But he's gonna be on standby for sure. And also, I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying just because of his placement that he was 11th place. You don't really put an 11th place player on an All Stars cast. So moving on, we have Jeremy. Jeremy is such an enigma. Like he's so unique. I love it. It's so weird. But he got he's super into the show. Like even after he got voted out, he was always asking questions. He was clearly following the show. Like even with the finale, he was looking at it and everything, and he was super engaging. So, and he's just a super interesting character. He just says what's on his mind. He doesn't really give a fuck. But he does talk weird and all that, so I don't know. He's kind of a sheep, but he's a very interesting character. So you might see him one day. Who knows? You might see him. He's always on the table. I don't think he's gonna be there for an All-Star season. Absolutely not. But I don't know, for those one-off seasons, a fans versus favorites or something weird, you might see him. I don't know. Like if I'm just interested, because he's just a super interesting character. Like I think everyone can agree on that. Oh shit, 3 minutes left. Okay. Fire Dragon, you might see him back for like a winter season, but he's kind of like a villain. He kind of is. Like he doesn't really have he has like a very negative personality, like not in a rude way, but it's interesting to see. Like although he's kind of inactive sometimes, it is interesting to see what he would do. I feel like he'd play a lot better in a very active cast with a lot of very good players. So we'll see what he can do on All-Star season and whatnot. But I don't know if he'll get there for sure. But maybe you'll see him sometime in the future. Scott for sure is going to return. He played a great season. He was pretty fun to have. He's always super active. He's very good. He's kind of a lock for sure. You'll see him for All Stars or something like that. Zach, obviously, he's not coming back. Ryan is for sure coming back. You kind of like Scott and Ryan were on the opposite sides of the spectrum, but they were both very similar in how they are an absolute lock for the future seasons, and they're gonna return absolutely if they're interested, obviously. And yeah, those two are like they kind of like if you're doing like the cover DVD or whatever, you're for sure gonna have those both on the cover. Tori's not coming back. Sorry, Tori. Curly, only 2 minutes. Okay, Curly fan favorite, loved her. She's coming back, absolutely. Sag, I'll go back to Sag. Travis, nope, he's not coming back. Sorry, you're getting second place. I hope you enjoy. Get your $100,000. Ethan, absolutely, he's coming back for an All-Star season. He kind of controlled everything. So you have like 3 absolute locks, and then a couple that are kind of in the air. And then lastly, you have Sag, who is like he picked up his game after he noticed that he was like not really doing shit for most of the game. So he picked it up, and now he's kind of in the question. He's kind of in the running. You might see him in the future. You might not. We'll see. Third place does help him as well, that he did that well. So you might see Sag in the future. We don't know. Like I'm gonna have to think back on this season after a month or 2 or whatnot, and see how he stands, how he holds in the whole season. So yeah. We're done with that. Okay, I'm going super quick, sorry. I just wanted to do a season's rankings as well. So we have 6 seasons. I'd probably put this season mid-table. We'll say probably 4th place, I'd say, out of 7. So that's super mid-table, I think. Or you could put a 3rd, I'm not sure. But season 5, fans versus favorites versus failures was my favorite. Bolivia was so good. And Uruguay was okay as well as this season. So it's going to be somewhere there. We'll see. Because of the winner being this good and like this positive and this likable, you might put it at a 3rd place, but it might go to a 4th. We'll see at the end of the day. But I'll see you all at the reunion. And actually, this will be passed